So my first question is, how would you describe your sound? I know I was getting a couple of different kind of areas between blues and indie and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Um, Traditionally, I guess I come from a bit of a folk and blues background, so I was brought up in pubs with like 60-year-old men playing the Beatles and Copperhead Rose, Steve Earle, that kind of thing.
Mm,
A lot of Elvis as well, all the classic sort of 60s, 70s vibe. I'd play with these guys, and it'd be me as an 11-year-old girl trying to learn guitar, and they'd be pushing the pedals for me because I didn't know
nice.
how. So I guess storytelling is a massive part of my background. So the sound that it, in terms of the actual production of things, I am leaning more towards the progressive side of rock, I
Mm,
guess, because my Rush covers album, Rush is one of my favourite bands, basically. Um, Status Quo was the first band I ever saw live, so I guess
nice.
that seeps into it as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different influential bands and artists, I guess, that have seeped into my songwriting and that sort of a sound, but live, um, I'm heading definitely down the progressive route, I hope, but I also like doing my stuff acoustic as well. So
Mm,
I think it's very much a person who is very okay with prog would be interested if you
mm.
get like there's people who like Rush but not necessarily Geddy Lee, that kind of a thing.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I kind of looking through your social media, it is cool to see you've been quite accepted into the prog community. I imagine more because of the Rush album as well. But yeah, it's cool to see someone more kind of on the outside of it,
Sure.
almost.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I never considered myself prog. I just felt very much a part of that community, and it is very much a community. It's not something that you have to do a million different types of signatures. It's just a case of if it doesn't necessarily fit into a boundary that has been created by, I don't know, the norm that is our music industry today. I guess I feel like prog is more my audience
Mm,
because covers album thing, but also because they understand my music a lot more than say if I was to do a pop night, it doesn't come across as well. So I
yes.
in that way definitely.
Mm. And so you've just the other day put out a new single, right?
Yeah, a different kind of woman.
Mm. And it's the start of the album cycle, right? You've announced an album for it and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, synthetic actually has been done for quite a few years.
Cool.
Sorry, it was probably last year. Around this time last year, that I got the final masters back. I went through a bit of a difficult time with a producer prior to this one who helped
Mm.
me. Um, it was pretty much a month. Every month, I would message this guy saying, "I haven't got a demo or anything. Can you just send me something so that I
Mm.
know?" And I didn't get anything back from him for about a year, so I had to get higher powers involved,
Oh God.
and eventually we got the majority of it back. But when we did, it was missing a lot of the stuff that we'd spend a lot of time on tones and things,
Mm.
and different guitars, and it was a studio production, so it was the things that were missing were substantial, and I had to work with someone who came into my life and saved me, Nick Andrew. He's a fantastic MIDI guitarist where he can play saxophone on his guitar. He's
Oh
classically
wow.
trained as
Mm.
well, but he basically took me on board. He's got a little office in Fleet, and I was there pretty much with him every weekend for almost 3 or 4 months, just redoing the parts of the
Mm.
track
Oh wow.
like that. And he did that as a mate, and he didn't know me. He took me on board to do the first Rush cover that I ever did that I released, which is Kid Gloves,
Mm.
and on the songs for Neil. I believe it's volume 4. I could be wrong. I can't remember. I've been on a couple of the songs for Neil, which is a tribute album compiled of Rush tribute acts in
Yes.
support of the death of Neil Peart and in celebration of his life. So Nick, actually, at the time, I met him through Steve, who is the organizer of Rush Fest Scotland, who is the guitarist in Moving Pictures that I toured with for 2 years.
Oh cool.
He put me in touch through a friend of a friend with Nick to get Kid Gloves recorded because my computer crashed.
God. Yeah.
I didn't have the funds at the time. I was still a uni student in my undergraduate. So I went to Nick to record Kid Gloves. Immediately got on with him. He's Scottish. He's from Broughty Ferry in Edinburgh. And my family is Scottish. So the banter was there, the humour was there. And
Yes. Yeah.
the next 4 months after that, he was so lovely. And from that, Leoni Kennedy at Steelworks Studios, which he now works, I believe, in his own studio, but he was with Steelworks and they put together the likes of the Spice Girls. You know, he's worked with Gary Barlow. He was a mutual friend again through just chatting online.
Oh, cool.
And we were reaching out asking for help basically because me and my mum were looking for help. My mum was friends with Elliot. Elliot decided, you know, it's a full album project. Are you sure, mate? Like, can you really put the time in? Not thinking that he understood how much of a project it was going to be. And he said, yeah, don't worry, I've got you. And he did. He bloody well did. And between him and Nick, it probably together about a year and a half of working with them, and it all came together. And I got the final masters back this time last year.
Oh, cool.
So all of that time, what has been available in my brain, I've had this image in my mind, and it's finally come together. I was crying my eyes out. It's difficult enough as a musician, but when people put you in that sort of a position to feel that your worth isn't worth their time.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's just absolutely atrocious, and there's plenty of people that stuff like that happens to as well. So this is actually why I'm talking about it, because if anyone else is in a similar position, it's nothing to do with you. Absolutely nothing to do. They're going to be a dick. They would just be a dick.
Yeah, right.
Quote me on that. So yeah, this is a part of the album. The latest release is the first of 7 songs from Synthetic. I believe there might be one more coming into it because I did a masters recently, and the track that I play live that gets the most sort of, I guess, relation with the audience is something based around my lack of a relationship with my dad since I was a young girl. And I think everyone sort of has trouble with their family or trouble with their parents.
Yes, yeah.
And it just brings up conversations like that, you know. So I think that's something that I'd like to include on the album as well, but it's not produced by Elliot. It's with my stage dad, who is the Geddy in the Rush Tribute Band, but was also my high school teacher.
Oh, wow.
And he sort of encouraged the Rush thing. So yeah, it's all a combination of now nice, lovely, reliable people.
Yes.
So yeah, that would be lovely to maybe do that as well. But this is it now. This is me starting my career. So.
Yeah. Has it just been kind of a year of admin then, trying to get everything else ready? I know how much of a hassle it is to, you know, it's one thing to have the music done, but then all the kind of promotion and all that as well is a whole nother ball game.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a year of hell, to be honest. We lost my granddad in June.
Gosh.
And he was my dad, you know. We didn't, my dad, like I said, I've not spoken to him since I was maybe 13 years old out of my own choice. And my granddad, even when my dad was there, was the person teaching us how to ride bikes. Me and my sister go swimming with us, take us like crab hunting and things in Fleetwood. He was the solid male character.
Yes.
And to lose him and the way that it happened, he had cancer for 3 months. He was in chemotherapy.
Oh, God.
And he beat the cancer. And then through complications and a lack of correct attention and aftercare from doctors, now actually going through like courts and things to see what happened, because he died out of malpractice basically.
Yes.
So it's been a really fucking tough year for all of my family. So I put the music
on.
Imagine.
Yeah.
I moved back home from London to be with my family at that sort of a time. And I've only kind of just moved back in September. So there was quite a few months there where we were in limbo. And I broke up with my partner of 5 years as well. So there was a lot going on personally.
Yes.
I wear my heart on my sleeve. You will figure this out by now. I don't hold anything back. But this year it's needed this sort of a push at the start of this year.
Exactly, yeah.
On track, because life does go on, and it's fucking hard when shit like that happens. But this is my career, and he was my number one fan as well, my granddad. So he would be slapping me over the head and going, "Get on with it."
Yeah, exactly.
I'm doing that.
Is there kind of like a central theme surrounding the album then, or is it more just kind of individual stories, or?
I guess I said this to someone the other day actually, and I can't remember who. It's sort of like a sonic diary of my journey into who I am today, and I guess I don't necessarily write to briefs. The only reason that I wrote to a brief with my masters was because of that song about my dad, because the brief, write a song you felt you never had the permission to write. So I did that, and it was a case of talking about something that I never knew I needed to. But with the majority of songs that I write, it's whatever is affecting me at the time. It seeps through in different ways. Like, it's not necessarily me telling you a story of, look, this just happened, I went to the shop and someone told me to fuck off and now I'm angry.
Yeah.
It could literally be me describing how you feel. So, like, for example, if I was writing a song and it had to be quite moody because of something like that might have happened, I would describe it throughout the song in a way that makes you think about it and your body do the same thing as what mine is. Like,
yes,
my hairs were standing up or my heart was racing, things like that. So it's a sonic diary, I guess, of my life timeline and things that have happened to me. I look back and I go, oh, I don't actually remember that happened, but I know why I wrote it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't believe it happened. And there's people as well that are in relation to those songs that I'm now like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So sonic diary, I think, because I am just a girl and I do keep things like that in my head for a long time. So that's it.
No, it does sound good. And you're hitting the road in April, right? I saw.
Yeah, going on tour with Solstice, which weirdly I wasn't expecting, because I'm not sure if you know, but I got the number 4 slot in Prog magazine.
Yes, I did see that. Yeah.
But Solstice and Ebony Buckle, who the person I'm taking over for the dates that I'm doing, she got number 1 in Best Artist.
Oh wow.
The guitarist and sort of leader, if you like, of Solstice, Andy Glass, got number 1 for Best Guitarist.
Oh, cool.
And then the drummer got a slot in the Best Drummers as well. So it's literally like the whole tour is just prog mag people, and I'm loving it.
That's cool, yeah.
And they're such lovely people as well. We went to Milton Keynes recently to shoot the cover for the Clan album, which is their latest release. And it was just loads of friends and family in an old school hall.
Cool.
Loads of kids running around trying to get them all to sit down and write.
I can imagine it's chaos, yeah.
There was at least 50 people there. So it was hectic, but it was good. We had a good time.
Cool. And have you got a busy kind of rest of the year after that? Obviously, I'm not looking for any kind of scoops or anything like that, but...
Sure. I'm away again later in April, actually. So I'm away with Solstice at the start. I've got a show with Ross Harding.
Oh, cool.
At the Cart and Horses, I believe, in between me playing with Solstice and the Anchoress, because I'm the guitarist for the Anchoress.
Yes.
She's fantastic, and she was my one-to-one tutor on the Masters.
Oh, cool.
That's how that came about. Again, away with her in June. A couple of blues festivals, I think, in July. August, I think there's things that are happening gig-wise. I'm releasing a single from the album pretty much every 5 or 6 weeks, if I can, depending on how well it's doing and analytics and things like that.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And I'm hopefully going to be making a music video for all of them. So I'm going to be very
cool.
busy.
Yeah.
With JJ Eringer, who did the first one for Different Kind of Woman as well. I believe his dad actually did the recording and production for Manic Street Preachers, which weirdly...
Oh, cool.
We supported them with the Anchoress. So I guess that's the connection as well, because he came to see the Anchoress and he's done work with her before anyway, but I didn't know that until recently, so I just thought, oh, what a weird connection.
Yeah, right.
That makes sense. But yeah, Hastings Fat Tuesday coming up on the 1st of March.
Cool.
They're putting me on the main stage this year, which is really cool. And there's just loads of things that I'm yet to do as an independent musician, like get played on BBC Music Introducing.
Yeah.
Just general goals that you think other people, you see them hit them and you go, oh, I should probably do that.
Yeah.
I'm making a massive list and ticking things off as I go along, whilst also trying not to lose my shit.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like the, least stressful time at the minute with all the plans going on.
Yeah, I actually thrive on stress, I don't like being quiet. I think that's when I'm at my worst, is when things are quiet.
Yeah.
I'm massive. I don't have a diagnosis, but I definitely have ADHD. A doctor told me. He didn't even have to give me a form. Yeah, I've seen this before. No, I have my good days and my days of fuck, I need to do everything before I die.
Yeah, right. And then just as a kind of lighter question to end on, do you have a dream tour lineup you'd want to be a part of?
Oh my god. Toto came to London and I didn't go and see them. Devastated. Steve Lukather, he's one of my favourite guitarists. And I know I teach degree students as well, so one of my students came up to me and said, "Oh, I'm really sorry, I'm knackered today. I just went to see Toto last night." And I was like, "Oh no!" I would love to support Toto. I've always said as well, I'd love to support Status Quo.
Yeah,
with
that'd be cool.
Well, but I know the drummer and the guitarist actually, and we're in contact, the new ones. And I'm meant to be working on a project with Leon Cave, the drummer. Hopefully this year, which will be really. So there's that connection as well, which might happen. But I'm honestly quite intrigued by Doechii as well. I mean, it's really not the sort of music that I would normally listen to, but her Alligators album, I'm not too sure what the name of it is. It's like a rap artist. She's a rap artist.
Yes.
The Grammy for, I think it's the third black woman to win as well. Like, what an achievement.
Yeah.
But her style and the live video that she did where the three of them are tied together with their hair, like, wow. That she's bringing hip-hop back, I think. But no, dream lineup-wise, I mean, Yes, Genesis, all of them are kind of not doing it anymore.
No, exactly.
So I guess Status Quo and Toto, definitely.
That'd be a cool trio as well, with you opening for those two.
Yeah, I went to see Marillion actually with John Mitchell, who plays in Frost. He's the guitarist in Frost. And we did Bravado, the Rush cover, together. So I think that's where I met Jerry Ewing from Prog, backstage at that Marillion show. And Frost as well, actually. Tell you what, sack all of them off. I'm going to start realistic, because then I want to support Frost on tour.
That'd be cool as well, though.
Yeah. That would be epic. They're so good. And the keys player, he got best keys player in Prog.
Oh, cool.
I love that magazine so much, man. Jerry Kennedy.
Awesome. Well, that's all I've got anyway. So thanks for taking the time out your afternoon to sit and chat.
No worries. Thank you for your time.
Don't let it bring me down.